Hello there everybody and welcome to Cheez Cam. This is one that I'm pretty excited about. Now when I say hello everyone, it couldn't be more fitting because this is going to be the first Cheez Cam that goes to Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. This is my first message to go to both sites, and I think that is fitting because of the message that I'm bringing tonight. Is something that everybody can learn from, whether you know me or you don't. You see, this happened to me last week. I sort of hit a spiritual and emotional roadblock, if you will. Kind of smashed myself into the proverbial brick wall. Not going to go into too much detail, but I do want to go into enough detail to where hopefully people will be able to take something from it, apply it to their own lives. When you're a person who doesn't care about your life and how you live it, when you're somebody who sticks your head in the sand and doesn't believe that God exists, when you're somebody who doesn't believe that there is a cause and effect, a consequence for all your actions, when you convince yourself of things like this, your conscience tends to be able to take a back seat to your instant desires. But when you're somebody who cares about the way you live your life, when you're somebody who does believe in cause and effect, when you're somebody who does believe that God is as real as it gets and is daily walking with you and watching over you, that does something to your conscience. You have a little bit more tendency to listen to your heart, to try to listen to the Spirit of God speak. And when you do something that you ought not do, it hits you a little bit hard. Hits you a lot harder if you're walking, that straight and narrow. If you're walking the way you're supposed to walk, it hits you a lot harder than somebody who just doesn't give a crap. Oftentimes, when we stumble, when we fall down, and when we make our mistakes, they can be put off and blamed on an outside source. Oftentimes we think, oh, well, if this hadn't happened or if this wasn't the case, then I wouldn't have had to react this way or do this, that, and the other if it hadn't been for this. We blame other people, we blame circumstances beyond our control, and the last person that we ever look to for the cause of the problem is the person in the mirror. It's always anybody's fault but our own, and that's a common fault in a lot of people. And when you're sidetracked by something that you were pretty sure you had under control, but then you're taken aback a bit by something creeping up on you that you thought was water under the bridge you weren't going to have to deal with anymore. But I had a situation like that last week, and the first natural reaction, like I say, is to point to other sources and say, well, if this wasn't that or this wasn't the other, then I wouldn't have had to be in this situation, in this place, in this time. I wouldn't have to have reacted the way I did, and blah, blah, blah. But think about that. Think about your circumstances. Think about your situations. All those things that you blame on other people or other situations, how much of that you would blame, all those other sources that you would blame, how much of that being in your life is your fault? You can blame outside circumstances, but maybe you had a little bit to do with those circumstances being what they are. You can blame other people, but you let those people get to you. You allow that into your universe, into your world, into your energy. You let that happen. You choose that. So really, there is no place to look but yourself. I got mad at God there last week for a little bit, and I got mad at certain circumstances not being what I think they ought to be. And this is what I came up with at the end of the day. And this is the heart and soul of this Cheez cam. If you're somebody who is dealing with circumstances right now in your life that you're not happy with for whatever reason, if you're somebody who is desiring something that you're just not getting, if you believe that you're entitled to something out of life, you feel like you ought to be on a higher playing field, stop sitting on your hands. So much of what we think about and believe in creates our own reality as far as our day-to-day living. For me, I made a decision, and as far as my Facebook friends are concerned and the people that see me regularly, you might see a bit of a switch, a bit of a change. After my divorce, I reached a bit of a low, and I can't say that this situation was that low as my divorce was, but there's some comparisons in there, somewhere, in terms of my inner self. And the bottom line is, there are things in my life that aren't quite where they need to be. Don't get me wrong, most of my life is right in order. It's right where it needs to be. It's right where I want it to be. It's right where I feel it deserves to be. Parts of it, just a couple, are a little bit out of line right now, not quite up to the level where I think it ought to be. Maybe I got sort of stalemate and it's just hanging around and getting used to regular routine. But I made a decision, in the Facebook community, and the people that know me well will see a bit of a shift. After my divorce, I chose to turn it around and take it to another level, and now I'm going to try, and I'm taking that one more level. It's going one more time up now, because you can choose to run into a wall and, figuratively speaking, lay down and die. The only other choice other than that is to raise the bar again, overcome it, and raise the bar again. So that's what's going on. For my YouTube fans, I do hope that whatever you're going through in life right now, take this as an example. And if you are somebody who's not quite where you need to be in whatever area of life, reach out, quit sitting on your hands, choose to take life by the throat. Strangle it if you have to. But when you make up your mind and you get in sync with God, don't let anything stop you. The trials will come and failures will occur. But when you're in sync with the Lord and you make up your mind, don't cower. Do not back up. Do not falter. And certainly do not allow yourself to be compromised, and do not break. I said in a previous Cheez cam for the fans on my Facebook page, I made reference to my grandma and the fight that she's dealing with her cancer, and how she keeps pushing forward. Well, guess what? I needed to follow my own advice. Last week I didn't, but this week it's a whole new start and a whole new beginning. Whatever your trials are, whatever your temptations are, and whatever you feel like you're not achieving or attaining that you feel like you deserve, let nothing stop you. Pray about it and literally decide, this is the way my life's going to go. You have the power within yourself to control your own destiny. And so I want to encourage everybody to do that today and on into the rest of your life. This is Matt Colby for the Cheez Cam. Thanks for watching. God bless you. And I will see y'all soon.